everybody! I got my hair cut! Woohoo! I've been wanting to do this for a while. My hair has been very, very long. Fun fact, my hair grows fast, but I felt like it had kind of had a period where it thinned out a little bit when I started my 75 semi-hard challenge thing. I think I lost some weight, lost some hair. I may not have been taking in enough protein, I don't know. I'm having some regrowth, but basically I had this long hair that the last time mom cut it, she's the one who always cuts my hair, former hairdresser. The last time I had it cut, it was in some long layers, and I felt like, given just what my hair had been through, it was looking quite thin at the bottom. Just the texture of my hair is very fine anyway. So having told this to my mom, she's like, okay, so we're gonna cut here. I'm like, no, shorter, shorter. And we went short, and I like it. I think it's chunky. It's just a blunt bob, and there's nothing that brings like the look of thickness and body back like just a blunt cut like that. So here, I'm just sitting here. I haven't done anything to it. Like, this is day 2 hair, so like I had styled it yesterday. It's got a little shape and bend, I guess. From what I did to it yesterday, I did some like jumbo Velcro rollers, but to just wake up and like I had it back in a little half clip overnight and take it down, and here's what we're working with. I just really like it, and I felt ready for the change, but we are gonna pull some of this back. But yeah, lengthwise, it's hitting just above the shoulder. And yesterday was like my first full day just like going about life with the shorter hair, and it does feel so lightweight and like, where's my hair? But one indicator I think is like when you're tempted to pretty much always have it in buns and ponytails and stuff like that, just very rarely styling your hair down, maybe it's time to rethink the style. So yeah, thanks mom. She always does amazing and works with whatever I'm asking. And she's like, it's always something dramatic and drastic whenever she does my hair, because I go through phases, you know. I like my long hair for a while, and then I'm like, well, let's go short. I think it's just a matter of enjoying my hair both ways, so when it's time for a cut, I'm cool to do a major change. So anyway, we're gonna get ready with the new haircut in mind, and one thing that I always notice whenever my hair gets shorter, I feel like so much more emphasis goes back to my eyes. It's fun to play up the eyes even more to like underline that fact. So yeah, we're just gonna get ready and have fun. Whatever products get used, it's just gonna be fun. Foundation wise, I think I'll pull out one I haven't used in a while. How about the Polite Society More Than a Pretty Face Skin Caring Foundation? I have this in Very Light. Very satisfying one to hold in the hand. So I'm gonna pump out a little bit of that. I can tell the pump hasn't been used in a bit. Came out looking a little bit like cottage cheese at first. Okay. There we go. And this is just my little Profusion foundation brush. You can get this in a 3-pack, by the way, with another couple of great Profusion face brushes from Walmart. I always link below, but it reminds me so much of the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I've always thought this one veered kind of light and yellow, but as we always do, we will work with it. The coverage is really pretty though. It's feeling like a full coverage, yet somewhat natural looking finish on top of my skin. I think I put on a little more than I needed to, honestly. As they say, we're going for the full beat today, I guess. Foundation sets the tone. Okay, so I think we're all blended out with that, but see how it leaves like a little bit of a natural gleam, but still tons of coverage. And then for concealer, I think I'll use my Rimmel Multitasker. This is a good one. I don't love it as much as the Revlon Color Stay Flex Wear. I wear the shade Sand in this, but it's solid. It's solid. I just don't know that it's quite the reliable staying power of the other, but in general everyday conditions, I feel like it's pretty much fine. And it wears really well alongside Rimmel Lasting Finish foundation. So I'm gonna take, this is my e.l.f. Duo brush. Could have just used this at the start to blend the foundation too, but sometimes I just feel compelled to grab for other things. And I'm gonna move this around. So yeah, my mom cut my hair on Saturday night, and that was also the night that Dad was honored on the field during SIU's blackout cancer game. Like, it wasn't just him, but all kinds of people who survived cancer, who are dealing with cancer. Players wore their names on the back of their jerseys, and it was really cool. And we have 4 season tickets for football, so it was like 4 people were gonna get to go and see this. So Bub went, and the girls went, and they took tons of pictures and videos and stuff. And Mom came over and gave me a haircut. We watched the game on TV, ate some frozen pizza, and had a good old time. Look how full coverage that is. Like, when that concealer tops off a really strong foundation, the look is really good. We're gonna set a little bit. Let's try something different. Let's do e.l.f. Halo Glow in the light pink. I was talking about loose powders in a recent video and benefits. Like, even e.l.f. has a slider thing, a little mechanism there. We gotta step it up, loose powders. Even Maybelline Fit Me, you know, could improve, but I don't want them to even touch the formula or the texture or the tone of that powder, so I'm hesitant to ask for a makeover on that. It's just such a good product. Do you ever worry sometimes when you see a packaging change? It's like, I hope it wasn't the formula change too. This is really quite brightening as well though. And the light pink is just very subtle, you know, it just comes across as brightening, I think. Honestly, still probably not quite the brightening factor that Maybelline Fit Me and Fair has, but close. And it's a good texture and weight of the powder, I feel. And then I'm gonna dust away a little of that bake. Looking undeniably even and good. Loving it, loving it. Kind of just taking anything that's left on this brush from the dust away and seeing if I can be just content with that dabbing over the skin. I just don't think I need to really be powdered up any more than I am. What we need to do now is sculpt. I feel like using Rare Beauty today. So this is my bronzer stick in Good Energy. I do love the tone of this. It's kind of a go-to if I really want a very chiseled look, because this does the chiseling without looking unnatural and it's just really easy to use. I can chisel out right down here too. Oh yeah. And the capping is good too. It doesn't just like pull down, but you actually feel a click. And it feels just as soft as day one, so it's apparently working. But look how easy that blends. Really good formula, right up there with some of my favorite stick formulas, like M Cosmetics and Persona. This just is that perfect little tone. I feel like the haircut made my cheekbones kind of stand out too a little bit more. I don't know. Face shape. And then I'm just buffing right down here. Kind of sculpt some jawline just a little more, and I think it works. And you can see this stuff can even sit on your skin for a little bit. Nothing's setting too fast. It's a non-stressful contour. You can take your time. It's not gonna like dry down on you right away. So placement-wise on this contour, I'm trying not to go too low. I'm trying to be kind of like at or just slightly below my actual cheekbone. Nice contour, getting chiseled out a little bit. I like to see a little soft bronzer kind of layer into the mix too. I'm gonna pull out my Hourglass Diffused Bronze Light. Haven't reached for this in a while, but this is a really good bronzer, really hard to mess up. Just always looks right on the skin. Does succeed in adding a little bit of glow, but like it's very soft. And then here, I'm gonna practically think blush placement with what I'm doing right over here. So definitely higher than where I contoured. Just because I think this bronzer really thrives in that way. Maybe even we'll hit the sides of the nose a bit. Come down the neck. Okay, it's looking good. Also, I can barely get this into just a tiny little ponytail if I need to, this hair. It's just nice to know that, even if I won't do it as much these days. Blush-wise, yesterday I went very like soft and neutral. I wore this Naked Brown from Wet n Wild. Today, I think I'll use e.l.f. This is the primer infused blush. You know, they did kind of like a re-release on this stuff. It's matte and it's the shade Always Vibrant. I'm gonna go into that real gently with my e.l.f. blush brush. We go a little at a time with something that looks this strong. And just a little more. Look at that pretty flush. Loving. And these blushes, this line has really great staying power. The products just adhere. If you see that word primer infused, definitely give it a look from e.l.f. Feeling good. Feeling more like myself now that the blush is on. I'm trying to take it a little higher over here. For highlighter, it's been a little bit since we've worked Revlon Skin Lights in. I love this highlighter, absolutely love it. It's Daybreak Glimmer, and it just has a beautiful sheen on your skin, and it can be so completely like buffed in. Like that was the application there. And then I still got more left over to hit this cheek. But then I kind of clean my brush off and just buff it in. And it looks so undetectable, but really just the perfect glow. Focus that highlighter underneath my eye, but as I buff, I kind of let remnants come up. And I've just learned that that's kind of a flattering way for it to go when the bulk of the highlighter is here rather than a ton of highlighter right out here. And then I can use a little bit more and hit the forehead. Think of just going right above the eye, kind of where the face is protruding out naturally right there a little bit. So it just makes sense. And maybe a little on the Cupid's bow. I'm enjoying this so much. Ambient lighting powder that's in my Dragon Hourglass palette. I'm gonna go to that. It's the finishing powder in Divine Light. I'm gonna pick up some of that with this little soft profusion brush. And I'm just gonna graze that all over my face as a nice little soft, kind of blurring it all setting moment. See, look how nicely that does. It's one of those steps where I can always tell if I've done it because the skin just has a nice little smoothed quality. I mean, I can always tell that I'm doing every step that I'm doing, but I guess the assumption might be with those subtle powders, like, can you even see it? Yes, I can tell the effect from it when I use it. I'm gonna use this today too. This always locks in for long wear, the L'Oreal 3 Second. Oops, should have done my brows first. I always forget because that really freezes my brows in place too. Doggone it. Okay, I'm gonna use my Milani Precision Brow and I'm gonna immediately, while that stuff is still kind of like setting in there, I'm gonna brush them up before they feel too completely locked in place. It's a hairspray vibe with that stuff, I gotta say, but it works. So like I was saying earlier, I feel kind of a renewed focus on the eyes when my hair gets short. So we're gonna try to do a really good, even symmetrical brow. Does anybody else like get excited when you're like knowing it's gonna be a full coverage day and you're like, okay, I'm doing the full beat. I'm going hard. It's gonna be a whole glam day with the makeup. I mean, that gets me excited. What are you doing today? Just maybe taking kids to school, picking kids up from school, taking kittens to get some vaccinations. You know, typical glam moments. I think this is doing pretty good. I always doubt myself right in this zone on this brow because I feel like I often don't get it filled in enough right there. Look at the surface of the skin though. I mean, what more could you ask for on that? And then we'll do the L'Oreal Brow Lamination on top of this. This is just a good brow gel. Holds well, no complaints. The most comparable thing to this might be NYX Control Freak. I think they're similar. I do kind of prefer this brush a bit more. See how it's like cone shaped and the bristles get really short. So you feel like you can get right in there on the brow and get it in close contact so it can do its job. I'm content with the brows. I'm not sure they're perfection, but I'm content. And then I'm gonna use some Milani eyeshadow primer. We love Milani eyeshadow primer. We appreciate Milani eyeshadow primer. We need to redo our nails. We notice it every time. What eye look will we do today? You know what? I saw somebody on TikTok raving about the ColourPop Stone Cold Fox palette. And it made me think maybe I want to pull that out again. Why not? And it kind of fits like the shirt color today. I'm gonna start with this shade over here called Small Town. It's not called Small Town, it's called Ghost Town. Oops, Ghost Town. There's a gentle bit of rose. It's if Hope just invited a little bit of rose over. I like this shade. That's kind of a little unique. I'm putting that in my crease though. Now let's bump up the rose a little bit. I'm gonna go to Stone Age right here. Stone Age. I'm double checking myself on shade names now. I don't trust myself. A little bit more of a pure soft rose and I'm feeling like I'm overlapping. Maybe going a little bit higher than what I just did. Okay, that looks good. Darkness and Lift. Who wants it? I got it. I'm gonna go to Drama Mama right here. A really dark brown. It's the darkest, coolest brown you've ever seen. Matte. Really a lot of good classic mattes in this palette. This is like all in all a little cooler palette than Bare Necessities, which I think Bare Necessities is a great basic from ColourPop. Also, especially this time of year, I really like the Smokin' Hot palette for a lot of warmth. But this shade is capable of really going there darkness-wise. And then we have a pure black called Rock Bottom. Did I tell you guys in a video about the little kitty that wandered up on our property a while ago? And we fed her, so she decided to stay. And then I became invested, and now she's a garage cat. Sleeps in our garage at night, and I had to get the other kitties in to get some vaccinations that they needed. After they get dealt with, I'm planning to take her in and just kind of see what's going on with her. The girls named her Pumpkin Spice, but she comes whenever you say kitten. I'm gonna go to Obsidian right here. See how it's just a little lighter than that in person. This looks actually like a very soft, muted plum, Obsidian. A little bit of that on my small pointed brush. Doing what we do here, giving lift. See, I want that darkness. I want that outer eye emphasis. This is so good. I love the way this very murky plum is blending in with the deepest shade. And just generally speaking, these large palettes from ColourPop are, in my opinion, the best large palettes going these days. They do a really good mix in these palettes. They do a good job of not overlapping. Quality is consistent. It's a lot for your money. And if you want a full matte wardrobe, check out the Gone Matte palette. Look at how well this is blending. I might go even darker with just the pure dark shade now, Drama Mama. Really making sure that the darkness is getting in the deep part of the crease. How are we feeling about that? That's looking really nice and kind of soft. I want to make sure that I don't totally ignore this part of the crease, as I sometimes do, letting it come in. Yes, come this way. Okay, feeling compelled to just pull in a bare crease brush or bare blending brush. Just ensure that edges are as smooth as possible. And then maybe we play with one of these fun shimmers. Which one would we go with? There's so much, like, I mean, we've got silver brightness, we've got more muted, dirty bronze type things. I want to go to this one called Mystery right up here in the corner. It looks like it's got a little bit of mauve-y pink in it, possibly. Oh, she's going to come across it really bright, actually. That's okay. It was a mystery to me as to how she would go on. Woo! I like that. I'm thinking about the lower lash line now too. I'm going to take my shadow stick in Pony, this taupey kind of shade that makes me think of, I don't know, a deepened up take on that shimmer that I put on there. And I'm going to put this on my lower lash line. This will lock in and not move. But look how well that just fits with the look. I like that. I might overlap just a little bit on the outside with some of my dark shadow. Drama Mama is the shade I'm talking about. Just boop into it with the tip of the brush because that's what we're using. It just kind of brings some more intensity. Staying power insurance, I take a little Kosas Cloud Set, a little, brush that's too big to be used for eyeshadow, and just go boop right under. I think it helps. I'm taking even more of that smoky plum in the corner, Obsidian. For some reason, something in my head's saying, go bigger. Bigger with the shape. Okay. We just listen to our heart in these moments. Because remember, it's just makeup. All washes off at the end of the day. It's kind of like, how much cheese do you want to put on top of that casserole? So listen to your heart. That shade is just a very friendly shade. I mean, it just kind of makes it easy to haze out in as big of a direction as you want to. And it's still going to make sense. Yeah, into it. Those two down there in the corner of your Stone Cold Fox palette, very good, friends. I'm going to do liner. I'm going to take the Caviar shade of the Lawless Liner Pen. I do think these are lasting really well on me, by the way. Still haven't had a full-on emotional breakdown in them, to be sure, but I feel like they would withstand a lot of activity in the day. Okay, we just followed the lash line. Nothing complex there. And then I'm going to use my Wet n Wild So Defined mascara today. This has got to be the best mascara I've ever used from Wet n Wild. Builds really well. It's a good brush. It's a good formula. Nice length. I'm proud of it, They did a good job. You can kind of bulk your lashes up with it. And I've had it on hand now for probably about a month, if not longer, that I've been using it on and off. And it's just kind of getting better and better. Part of why it's good is the brush comes out, but it didn't get too cleaned off. And that's what really lets the building happen without a ton of raking through. It just clings right on there. That's maybe half of a coat in terms of just amount and the amount of work I've done so far, and it's already looking great. Sometimes we see a mascara and it's called So Defined, and you're thinking, no, I want big lashes. Don't be fooled by the name. See? Going there. Actually, yesterday as I was getting ready for church, it was my first day, glamming up my new hairdo. And I was thinking about putting on some of those little lash clusters that I like, the ones that go under the eye. These ones, I really like these, but I had done up my eyes somewhat to where I just didn't even feel like I needed it. Like at the end of the look, I thought, I feel lifted. It was about like this kind of vibe, you know? Even the left lashes are like, yeah, I don't always do what you want me to do, but I'll take a piece of that mascara. Thank you very much. I may add a little bit more over there. That side needs a chance to get a little drier. Cali Ray, come hell or high water. Yes, we're working those lower lashes too today. I can't decide what I want to do on the lips. I don't want to stick to just one shade today. I'm going to take the Worth It medium shade from the L'Oreal Color Riche line. We'll start there. So there's Worth It and Worth It medium. This is more cool mauve-y, and the other one is more like a soft nudie pink. They don't have the greatest staying power, but they do have a good glide, and I like the color. And I'm going to take the shade Velvet from Lawless, forget the filler. This was the first one of these I ever bought and tried. It's that kind of shade. And I'm just going to glaze up these lips. They're going to be so shiny. This really falls in line with the color of the lip liner. Yes. I want to put a little more blush on, but maybe not more of that. Let's do a little pink grapefruit from Laura Geller. A huge bunch of this broke out, but there's still lots of color to be had. And it's a little glowy, a little bit of pink, a little bit of actually toastiness. Alrighty, so now we take the clip out, and look how easy this is for me to do. Boom, boom. We could do middle part, we can do side part. It kind of wants to do the side part thing. I could put little waves in it. I could let it be real straight. By default, if I were to let this like air dry, because I mean, my mom cut it, it was wet. And then as that dried, like it naturally kind of wants to flip outward. But I like this little chunky just junk. I'm pleased. I like the way it all came together. And yeah, hope you guys like the hairdo. And if you don't, just wait a few months and I'll probably go long again. No, I've told myself after this one, like I'm sticking here. I really like this. Some of you may have to remind me that I've said that. But yeah, I'm digging it. Digging it. Thank you, Mom. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.